Good morning everybody, welcome to Fishing Minty and welcome to Upper Tamar, where today I'm going to be using my 12-foot Nytro Marvelist AllRounder rod for the first time. Before I get on with the fishing, I just wanted to justify my purchase of my new rod. Basically this rod here is my Preston Ascension rod. It's 10 foot 8 inch long, it's 3.2 metres long, it's got a casting weight of 30 gram and it's nice and delicate for silvers fishing. I really enjoy using that as a rod casting out up to about 30 metres. So I decided to purchase a second Ascension feeder rod, that one being the 12 foot with a 60 gram casting weight, so I could just fish medium range. I've already got a long range distance rod which is 120 gram casting weight, but that's a bit too strong and a bit less delicate, so I wanted something that sat in between those two rods. So I tried to find a 12 foot 60 gram Preston Ascension feeder rod, and I couldn't find one in stock anywhere, so I don't know whether they're running the stocks down, whether they're just focusing on the superior model range, I don't know, but I couldn't find one for sale. So I started looking around, and that's when I came across the new Nytro Marvelist 12 foot AllRounder rod. Now the price wise this comes in at the same price as the Ascensions. I think it was £125, but because Nytro have got kind of a lower price range compared to Preston, I'm hoping that this is more like a superior type model, but we'll see. Features wise it's very similar. You've got the flat handle, you've got a bit of cork and EVA combination, you've got the screw down reel seat, which is what I didn't have on my last other feeder rod. It's kind of essential nowadays. 12 foot, it comes with 3 tips, the Marvelist range. This one that I've got in was the lightest, which is 1.5 ounce. I think the other two were a 2 ounce and a 2.5 ounce. But there we are. As I mentioned in my last video about the Nytro Impax commercial feeder rod, I'm not too fussed about looks really. It's all about casting ability and catching fish and how it feels really. I want it to be as sensitive and get as much feel of the fish as possible, but also be able to do the job and live up to the kind of fish that I'm likely to catch, which is detecting bites from tiny silvers and also catching, you know, kind of carp or bream up to, you know, maybe 5 or 6 pound. But yeah, this is definitely aimed at more my kind of naturals fishing, so we'll see what's out there. So it's 8:45 now, I'm just about to do my first cast. One thing I didn't mention earlier on is that with this rod I've also paired it with a new Nytro reel. This is the Impax 5500 long cast reel, loaded with 0.08mm Preston Absolute braid. So let's see how the cast goes. Hopefully I'll be able to reach my clip. But first impression so far, it does feel really light in the hand, so hopefully that lightness translates to a nice rod to use throughout the fishing. These are the feeders that I'm going to be using today. So on my Preston Ascension rod I've got a Drennan Mini 15 gram cage feeder, another one a Drennan small 20 gram cage feeder, and Preston mesh window feeders 20 gram as well. Both those I think they're small. And then on the Nytro rod I've got that's a 50 gram Drennan cage feeder bomb, I think it's called, and I've also got a Guru 55 gram maggot feeder as well. So if the ground bait isn't attracting the fish, then I've also got the option of a maggot feeder as well. Bait wise we've got mainline F1 dark ground bait, I've got a pint of fluoro pinkies, some chopworm, sweet corn, 2mm manila micro pellets, 4mm krill pellets and 6mm bloodworm pellets. So each feeder full I'm just scooping up some ground bait. I've just put some sweet corn and some 6mm and 4mm pellets in there as well this time. So each cast I'm varying I'm putting into that feeder alongside the ground bait, and I've been going for double or triple pinky on the hook. Something I'm using today, which I've only used in the past for carp fishing, are my distance sticks. So one of the things that I'm trying to do is improve my accuracy, to try and get my swim feeder land in exactly the same place every time. Now obviously I can do my first cast and then I can clip up to that, but I thought it'd be better to try and focus on a particular distance in advance and clip up to that distance, so I can try and aim for that, because my estimation on distances isn't the best, to be honest. Obviously up to about 20 metres it's easy because you're kind of guessing to where a pole kind of comes to, but anything beyond that, you know, it's the further you go out, the more of a guesswork it is, for me at least anyway. So what I'm doing is the distance between these sticks is 3.5 metres on these particular sonic distance sticks that I've got. So I'm going to do 5 wraps on my ascension rod, which equals at 17 metres, so I'll just be flicking it out to kind of end of pole length. The water is clear here, but I don't know at what point they start to come in closer, so we'll see how we go with that one. That's my initial distance anyway. And my Nytro Marvelist rod, which is a 60 gram casting weight, I'm going to be wrapping that up to 48 metres, which is 14 wraps. So I'll see how we get on for that. It's a bit kind of, I know it's normally used for carp fishing, wraps and all that malarkey, but it just gives me a good way of getting accurate distances. So if I get the distance accurate, at least I'm going to be within a certain arc, and hopefully I can get the angle accurate as well, to try and land the feeder in the same place each time, and hopefully attract some of the larger fish which have escaped me so far on Upper Tamar. That's the plan anyway. So as I say, carry on watching the video to see whether I actually catch some fish or not. So it didn't reach my clip, but I've clipped up again at that distance, and what I'll do is later on I'll measure to see what that cast was. I think that was an indication and it dropped back almost straight away then. Was those guys I was chatting to before were saying about how if you count your feeder down, the 2 ounce feeder, you need to be fishing at a count of 8. So I was concentrating counting that. I've never really known to do that. So it's when the tip drops back, that's when the feeder has landed. So that was a count of 8 then, so I've clipped up to that particular place I've cast to. Now in this feeder, instead of the F1 dark ground bait, I've loaded it with the Manila micro pellets. I've done so well with the micro pellets here. I keep trying to use proper ground bait so that they attract bigger fish, but the appeal, this is definitely on by the way, I can feel it. The micro pellets are so easy to prepare, and it's a nice skimmer. I'm using F1 dark to attract these fish, and the micro pellets have done the trick for me. I thought I'd scoot the net back from underneath him then, but yeah, so obviously I'll just repeat that and put the micro pellets in the next feed load again. The braid's looped around my net somewhere. That's my feeder stuck under the net. There we are, nice skimmer, probably about £1/2 pound. First fish of the day, first fish on this Nytro Marvelist AllRounder rod. So too many more. Just another clip of the rod now that I've taken the cellophane off, just so you can see the foam handle. I've got a couple of twitches on this cast, so hopefully going to go round. I have got a fish on the end. I don't know how small it's going to be. I had quite a few minor little twitches. I was just waiting for that one. Yeah, this small little perch. Yeah, I was just waiting for that proper, real solid indication before I acted upon it, and nothing really came. And that's probably why, because it was probably too small to move the feeder. There he is. Probably not even an ounce. What's a little twitch? Yeah, this is something on. Feels decent actually. Maybe a bigger perch than the last one. Oh, I thought you'd come off then. That's a roach. A roach, a couple of ounces of this. Yeah, that's another indication. Let's go for it now. Yeah, there's something on at the moment. Similar size to the last one. There we are. And another one. Let's lift into that one. I think there's one on the end. Feels like the rod's pulling a bit. Yeah, I'm sure there is at the moment. Definitely. Another, oh, it's a perch this time. I was going to say it's another similar sized roach, but it's a perch about the same sort of size. There he is. Indication. And again. Almost 6 minutes that was out for. Another tiny perch. That's the smallest so far. Pretty much stickleback size. Yeah, I think I have got something on. There were a couple of very, very delicate twitches at 6 minutes. And I tightened up the line. And I thought I could see the tip tremble again, so I thought just lift into it and see. And there's definitely something on. It's one of the roach, a few ounce. Yeah, I am impressed with the sensitivity of this tip. It's definitely doing its job, picking up bite indications from the smallest of fish, which is one of the main things I want from a feeder rod. And obviously this has got the 60 gram casting weight to get at the distances that my Ascension couldn't. Oh, there's an indication. 35 seconds in, and another one. And there's a fish on. That time in the feed I've got a combination of micro pellets, sweet corn and F1 dark ground bait. It's put in most of the fish I've caught so far. Doesn't necessarily mean it's the biggest. Oh, I think it's a skimmer. Yeah, it looks like it is the biggest. Oh, that is not the same as the first one. There we are. But again, guess about half a pound, I'd say. Yeah, let's lift into him. Yeah, fish on. I left it. It was another 50 seconds before this. Another batch of twitches. I know it's the same fish. What have we got here? A roach. Slightly bigger roach actually. Maybe 4 ounce. In the bottom lip. There we are. Ah, massive cormorant's back again. Oh, it's just flipping a fish up, swallowing it whole. Oh dear. Go away. Back down he goes. I am fishing a lot further out than that. I suppose it's a good sign that there are fish that close in. Oh, there was before he ate or scared them all off. Oh, he's right over to the right of my peg now. He's just swam straight through underwater my whole peg. Oh dear. And he comes back up again. He's just swimming left to right, right to left, underwater in my peg. I think that's the indication then on my rod. Oh, a couple of little twitches then while I was drinking my coffee. Let's lift into it. Yeah, there is a fish on. Sounds like it's pulling quite a lot as well actually. We got another skimmer. Perch. There we are. He escaped the cormorant at least. There's an indication of the little sways. It's 11:05 now, the sun's finally breaking through the cloud and hopefully we're going to get the weather that we were promised. Oh, it snapped up a little then, but I think the fish is still on. Yeah, a roach. There we are, back to the couple of minute size. That's the indication, just tighten my line up. Minute and a half in. It's on at the moment, yeah. So I've switched back to triple pinky after trying pellet and corn for a couple of 10-minute casts. So the fish is still out there, but I couldn't tempt anything bigger with the pellet or corn. What have we got here? A small roach. Smallest roach of the day. Less than an ounce, I'd say. Off he goes. There we are. Let's go. He's on. 3.5 minutes by the time that second twitch went. Oh, certainly snagged. There's another snag close in. Well, that seems to be on most of these pegs. Oh, the fish is still on at least. Another roach. There we are. Definitely picking up the sensitive small fish bites on this rod. Oh, there we are, as an indication. 4 minutes that cast was. It's definitely on at the moment. Small perch. There we are. Off he goes. So I was just thinking about the nice and roach and bream that I caught on my last session here on method feeder, so I thought it'd give me an opportunity to test out the kind of the nearer swim on this peg, and also an opportunity to compare the two Nytro rods that I've got now. So I've just cast out a Nytro Impax carp feeder rod using a micro Preston banjo feeder, which has got the micro pellet in the feeder and a 6mm sticky baits bloodworm pellet. So I've got both rods fishing now. So this one here is the Nytro Impax carp feeder rod, 10 foot. That features in my last video that I put up on Walesborough Lake. And then the near rod is my 12 foot Nytro Marvelist AllRounder rod. So obviously there's two differences in these particular rods. There's the budget range, so the Impax rod is one of the more budget range within the Nytro offerings, and the Marvelist is, I believe, the top of the range. And obviously this is an all-rounder, the Marvelist that I've got, so it's aimed more at silverfish fishing, and this is the commercial, so it's aimed more at commercial fisheries, as the name suggests, and small carp. So they are completely different beasts in terms of price point and in terms of what they're intended for. There is an Impax AllRounder as well, and there is Marvelist carp rods as well. So you can switch both around depending on what your requirements and depending on what your budgets are. But these are two rods that I've actually got. So I just thought I'd highlight the differences there. The Marvelist has got the flat part of the butt section, if you like, that kind of thing, if you think it's beneficial, whereas this is cylindrical throughout the whole area. The rest are mainly cosmetic. You've got a matte finish on the Marvelist, gloss here on the Impax, but actually is matte further up. The rings are bigger and a finer gauge wire on the Marvelist. I don't know if that's because it's a longer rod and it's for longer casting, or whether it's a price point thing, I'm not sure. And the Impax one only came with 2 tips, whereas the Marvelist came with 3 tips. There's a twitch. There's a fish on at the moment. Nice clear sky now with big bright sun. Warming the soul. And the fish are still biting. A small perch, or at least. There we are. So for this cast I've just switched over to the 45 gram window feeder. I'm hoping that it's going to have slightly less resistance when I do get a bite, so hopefully it's going to improve the bite to fish conversion rate. Let's see how this one casts anyway. I'm still clipped up to the same distance I was hitting each time with the 55 gram, but this is more aerodynamic, so I'm hoping we'll reach the same distance. Yep, hit the clip nicely there. There's an indication. Let's wait for a second one, because I've had a couple of casts where I've missed bites, so I'll try and give it a bit more time to be sure. Tighten my line up, and then that's when the second indication came. I did change down to a size 18 hook, so I am curious to see whether that's why a couple of the fish have been coming off, or I've been missing the bites. So I did get my hook box ready. This is the biggest fish of the day. I was going to say I did get my hook box ready to go back up to a 16 or maybe a 14. Oh, there we are. Lovely. I think I'll stick as we are now. Nice skimmer. 3 skimmers now today. Same sort of size again. A half a pound. That was on a single pinky, funny enough. Like I say, because I've got a smaller hook, I thought I'll just try a single hook bait, leave a bit more of the hook bare for hooking properties. And I don't know if it worked or not, but obviously I caught a fish. I might still have caught the fish with double pinky or triple pinky like I have been using, but either way, nice fish in the net. Hooked right in the side lip, makes it a bit tricky to unhook. It's done now. It's a lovely slime. water. I do love watching them swim off in the clear lake. Lift into that one. It's on at the moment. This fish obviously doesn't mind the shorter hook length. Perch. There he is, little wasp. there's an indication straight away. 20 seconds. So while I had my camera away from me without my microphone on, I caught, I think, the best skimmer of the day so far. About 3/4 pound, I think. And a nice roach. Also had a couple of bites that didn't result in fish. And this one hasn't resulted in a fish either. But plenty of bites coming. That's better. A couple of little twitches and a proper up around. Is this another skimmer? 1 minute 20 cast. It's definitely on at the moment. Let's try not to bump him off. Take it delicate. Oh, it's a nice perch. Missed him with a landing net. It's better. There he is. 4, maybe 5 ounces, I guess. Off he goes. Minute and a half that take. That's definitely on at the moment. Oh, that's a nice roach. A few ounce. That's enough of an indication for me. So if it actually turns into a fish on the bank, it's definitely on at the moment. Good sign. Try and really a bit slower. Perch. I thought it was one of the tiny ones, but it's not quite as small as that. Yeah, little wasp again. So this is my last cast now to end a lovely sunny day on Upper Tamar. Yeah, let's lift into that. Several little taps. No fish. And let's just have another last cast. That's on at the moment. If I do get this fish in, it will be my last cast. I should say one last fish in already, but then I could be here all night. There's a roach of a few ounces to round off a nice day. There he is. And off he goes. I did say I'd measure up my distance again at the distance that I'd clipped up to, so I used all my wrapping sticks, measured it out, and it was actually only 9.5 wraps that I was fishing to, so that was 33 metres out. And where I was fishing there was a count of 7 on a 2-ounce bomb. Apparently 1 ounce bomb sinks 1 foot of depth, so 2-ounce bomb, count of 7, about 14 feet deep. And that's where I was fishing today. So the guys I was chatting to earlier on said you want to be looking for a count of 8 on a 2-ounce bomb. So maybe I need to go a little bit further out to catch more of the skimmers or catch more fish in general. I don't know, but just for information anyway, that's how I was fishing today. Well, thanks for watching the video. It's been another fun day on Upper Tamar today. I've been using the Nytro Marvelist AllRounder rod 12 foot all day for 6 hours, and I've paired with that the Nytro Impax reel. They've both handled everything I've thrown at them, so I've had been able to pick up minor indications on tiny little perch and roach, as well as 4 skimmers altogether. So I've had 4 skimmers, 10 roach, and I can't remember if it's 8 or 9 perch now, but you get the idea anyway. Plenty of small fish and 4 skimmers as well, up to maybe ranging from half a pound to 3/4 of a pound, maybe a pound at a push if we're stretching things, but they're all estimates anyway. But yeah, it's been a good day's fishing. The hook bait wise, I've used pretty much single pinky to up to triple pinky. That was the hook bait that I've caught fish on. I did try corn and did try pellet for a short while, but they didn't result in any fish, so I just reverted back to the pinkies. And in the feeder I've just been loading the F1 dark ground bait and the Manila micros, as well as any other bits and bobs of hook baits mixed in it as I've kind of loaded the feeders. I think again the Manila micros seem to have had the best impact. 2 of the skimmers, maybe 3 of the skimmers actually, came to feeders just loaded with those Manila micros with no ground bait at all. So yeah, again, it looks like it's a thing to go with. I haven't got any particular strong fish meal with me today, so I still am trying to target the bream and try and find how I can get more than I have been so far. But 4 skimmers is the most I've got up to now, so let's hope we can improve on 4 on the next session. But thanks for watching. Do appreciate if you can like or subscribe or make any comments or any feedback or any questions you might have. The channel is growing slowly and people are watching the videos, so hopefully these are helping somebody, if not just helping me. Again, thanks for watching. Cheers.